Hey guys, and welcome back to another video on my journey. Thank you so much for showing up. I'm full of so much gratitude, and welcome if you're new. So I wanted to touch a little bit in this video about actually my previous video that I did on, are you following a spiritual trap or are you seeking self-truth? And I'm kind of gonna play and bounce off that video of some of the things that I spoke about in that video and some realizations and actually information that came to head into light yesterday for me. So in the previous video, I talked a little bit about shadow work, and I want to speak a little bit about it because there's so much information floating around about shadow work, and here's a video for beginners, and this is what shadow work is. It's your dark side. I'm finding that even in the beginning stages of my awakening, I found it very like, oh, it's my dark side, and it's dark and it's negative, and it's, I feel like it always kind of painted this picture of something negative within me. And I just want to like focus some light into your shadow side is a beautiful way for you to actually see the light within you. And I know you're probably thinking like, what are you talking about? Your shadow side, when it comes to light, and this is limiting thought forms, this is triggers that come up, judgment, pointing the finger, anything that comes up in your life that places any sort of negative inclination on yourself and others is part of your shadow. It is for me. Again, this is my journey, and I'm just speaking what it's truly meant for me. So take what resonates and leave the rest, obviously, with anyone. But in my early stages of awakening, I would sit in meditation and it's like, all right, let's face this shadow, like let's face this dark entity within me, And I'm here to just enlighten you, like, it is not something negative. It's not something dark. It is just energy that needs to be seen and released, that's been trapped within you. That's it. And this energy that's trapped and this could be, and I'll talk about this, I kind of bounce one idea and I'll talk about it in another video, but part of it was me growing up with a very judgmental and narcissistic mother. And so I have this belief that I'm never enough, and I'm not beautiful enough, and I'm not skinny enough, and I'm never enough. So that trickled into deep beliefs that projected outward. It filtered into my relationships. It filtered into my business relationships, to the relationship I have with myself. And these are beliefs that don't serve me. And so when the self-hate comes up, facing your shadow just means, okay, this doubt and this self-criticism is coming up, and just witnessing those emotions and allowing them to just come up, surface, and meet them with love. This is all shadow work is. It's literally just allowing yourself to meet yourself, to come face to face with your triggers, with your judgments, with yourself on a lot of different levels. And I'm going to catapult into another subject of shadow work is you can't force shadow work either. I tried for so many years forcing emotions to come up, and sometimes it works. You're in this really beautiful receptive energy and you're journaling, and then emotions just come up. Like, it's a beautiful thing. And if you are intuitive enough to like really realize that energy and jump into modalities that really service you in releasing, then by all means, like, that's such a beautiful thing. I just realized for me in my early awakening, it was really hard to realize what modalities worked and what my shadow was. And you're full of so much questions and so many like I don't knows and so many like I'll grab that and see if that works. I'll grab that and see if that works. You know, that's something I talked about in my last video, is we tend to just gravitate to everything in our awakening, like the crystals and the mindsets and this is what the path is meant to look like. And it's beautiful because all those modalities served me in a different phase of my awakening. So another thing I want to touch on is none of those things are negative. It's just, I really want you to use, and this is another subject I'm jumping into after shadow work, is really use discernment with yourself on what truly works for you. And what is discernment? It's really a place of choice that comes from within, and it isn't influenced by anyone on the outside. Discernment is this true for me or is it not? And it's a choice that comes from within. And using discernment on modalities that work for you, for choice of what shadow work really means to you, like it's really figuring out what modalities work, what doesn't, okay? So shadow work and discernment are very much, I think, intertwined, and truly finding what works for you. And discernment is, and this is a deep subject I'm going to talk about now. I just want to make sure you guys, like, I'm like bouncing around. My energy is kind of like, it's just really excited and scattered right now, but I really want to I want to wrap up shadow work, is that it will happen in divine timing when those emotions need to when your emotions need to surface and be serviced by you and seen and felt in its entirety. And sometimes it takes more than one session to really open up and release a certain emotion, especially if it's very deep and it's been part of your belief system for your whole life. It's kind of like what the spiritual community calls like a dark night of the soul. And this is something else I'll talk about in another video, because that's a whole other very deep, and you go through many of them, but dark nights are really releasing very deep beliefs and visions of yourself, and it's like shattering the illusion of yourself. So I'm going to end that there. But just know, shadow work is in divine timing. Seek what resonates for you. All the modalities that resonate with you. This could be dancing, this could be singing, this could be journaling, this could be anything that moves your energy out. I really want to talk more about discernment and seeking a guru in your life, because I want to talk about kind of a dark part of my past and my early awakening. So in my early stages of awakening, I met a certain person. This person won't be named, but this person really showed me a lot of what the spiritual community had to offer. I mean, just different crystals and plant medicines and all these different things that were just so immensely beautiful to me. And I was just shoved into this beautiful spiritual like world with this person. And it turned really dark when mental manipulation and emotional manipulation became into play. And me being in my early stages of awakening, I was very susceptible to that sort of manipulation because I was so new. to so many things. And I believe, and it's part in truth to my story, that I was very much manipulated on a very emotional level because I was so new and I was so uncertain and I was so open to anything that I did not use discernment. Okay. I wasn't in that place yet to really have boundaries with people and have discernment with what was true and what was not true for me. And this is so hard to talk about, but I have to talk about it. Though the sexual encounter was okayed by me, afterwards, knowledge of that same abuse surfaced from other women. And it really hurt to find out that, oh, he's doing this to other people, and and I'm saying he, because it's just part of my story, and I was gonna say person, but it's a he. And that manipulation was seen outside of the relationship me and him had, but it was bouncing to other women and other people. And after this, a dark realization comes to play that, like, oh wow, I was used, and oh wow, like, how did that happen? And I mean, it definitely serviced me on a more spiritual level because it taught me discernment. It taught me boundaries. So everything services you, right? I don't think that anything happens for nothing's accident. Everything happens for a divine purpose. But that was just a dark period for me. It was consensual, but there was so much gaslighting, so much mental and emotional manipulation that I could not see through it in the moment. I wasn't in that mental, emotional, and spiritual place to say, I don't agree with that. Even though during it, I stopped, it was like, this is wrong. And a lot of things spiraled out of that realization. And the reason I'm bringing this up is to remind you that you are your guru. You are your own guru. Nobody can tell you your path to spirituality. Only people can guide you. This is important to understand because it felt very muddled in the beginning because you're just grabbing onto everything and just trust everyone and everything. And living in Los Angeles at the time, I'm living in my hometown in Texas, but living in Los Angeles, spiritual community is very big and it's very wide and it's very like, there's a lot of dark parts of the spiritual community, and discernment and realizing that you are your true guru and people can only really guide you. You innately take this path to spirit yourself. Okay? I didn't think I was going to get so open and honest about that situation. This person floated into my reality the other day and was working with someone I truly trust. And it hurt in a lot of ways. And to see this person so cycled in the spiritual community and so pronounced, I worry for the people he works with, and it worries me deeply. I worry about all these beautiful women in the spiritual community, and just how gullible I felt at that time in my spiritual awakening. Yeah. So really sit with yourself first. You are your truest guru. And all of these things in the spiritual community, all these modalities are just guiding you to you. You. You have all the answers within you, dear one. It is inside you. It is peeling back the beliefs, the structures that have implanted themselves within your mind, ripping them off and standing in your power, dear one, because it is you. The thing is I sit here with ultimate love for what happened to me, because it guided me to myself, and I take 100% ownership of that situation. It doesn't mean it didn't hurt, and it didn't cause some very deep, uncomfortable emotions and mental states, but I do take responsibility because I was in the situation too. I was there too. But it taught me discernment and deep boundaries within this spiritual community. So thank you. All right, let's shake it off. My ring fell off. Let's shake it out. All right. Thank you for being here. If you're still listening, I really like honor you and appreciate you so immensely. Okay, my last little note that I want to talk about in this video is triggers. I've talked about this, but something really came to light for me. And it's the more that you judge others into your narrative, you will perpetuate the same separation within yourself. The more you judge others into your narrative, you will perpetuate the same separation within yourself. The reason you judge others is because there is something within yourself that needs to be looked at. Okay? Everything in your reality is a reflection of your inner world. And if you are still placing judgment on others and you need to follow my narrative, you need to believe this, you're only perpetuating your own separation within yourself. This is deep, okay? It is on a daily that I am mentally placing judgment on so many people, things, myself. This is deep stuff, okay? And what I'm going to tell you is just really look at what triggers you every day. What are the perpetuating patterns and triggers that come into your reality every day? What needs to be really looked at? This is really deep. Because when you really unravel everything that's existing in your reality is for your highest and greatest evolvement. You created your reality completely from your inner world. So I want to leave you with this. Your path is in divine timing. Everything will surface and happen in your greatest good when you are ready. When you've placed enough energetic willingness to open yourself to something greater. The universe can only show up to you as much as you're showing up for yourself every day. Look at your triggers, look at your judgment. Stop listening to the outer world. It is within you, dear one. It is you, okay? You are so magnificent and strong and amazing. To sit with yourself is to sit in your power, okay? Woo! Thank you so much for showing up today. I did not think I was gonna go there today, but I went there. I went there today. I will probably collect my energy and touch on a little bit more of the things that I talked about today. But thank you so much for showing up today. It means the absolute world to me. I am in utter gratitude for my life and for you for watching. I deeply appreciate you. If this message resonated, if you want to see more content, please comment below, subscribe, do whatever you're guided to do. I will see you on another day in my beautiful journey. I will see you again soon.